Good morning. We're Jocelyn Ceballos and Paulina Garcia from the group 5010, and we're going to talk about Tim Burton. American film director and producer, outstanding architect of both animation and movies with real actors. Timothy William Burton is one of the most original authors in Hollywood today, creating his own universe marked by mythomania, cultural recycling, and an imagination overflowing with remarkable visuals with personal stories. Many of them with traits of black humor and signified by the main role of misfit characters and anti-heroes identified with their author.
Tim Burton's imaginative vision and creative fascination with a part of human existence suggests way that can be used more broadly to explore that century-old tradition, Gothic literature, as well as more recent film styles and conventions but well established.
Burton has always been fascinated by the dark and light aspects of life, constantly arguing that one cannot exist without the other. Life is an incredible jumble of being funny, sad, dramatic, melodramatic, silly, and all. Burton reworks and echoes themes, images, techniques from the text that fueled his imagination during the early years of his suburban childhood and adolescence. His tastes were eclectic: Japanese monster movies, B-grade science fiction and horror movies, and Dr. Seuss pictures books.
From his time a student, his hometown, he showed a great talent for drawing, which led him to enroll in the California Institute of Art, where he completed his artist training. He presented his work in the studio that Walt Disney found, which his pleased creation for years. 1982, he shot Vincent and 6 minutes that you with an expressionist you Pierce and stop-motion animation in which Vincent Pierce you appear as that narration.
In 1984, one of his most remembered shorts appeared again on Disney, Frankie Winnie, a black humor story that tells in black and white the story of a young man named Victor, who, after losing his dog in a car accident, decided to relive it in a Frankenstein style.
Pee-wee's Great Adventure 985 was the first feature directed by Tim Burton. The film adapted of the well-known television character in the United States played by Paul Rubens, who was dazzled by Frankie Winnie and asked Burton to direct the film La Gran Aventura de Pee-wee, which already showed the visual procedure of direction and the protagonist of a singular character.
In Beetlejuice 1988, he coincided in the credits for the first time with actor Michael Keaton in the main role. It is a fantastic comedy with touches of black humor that has the co-stars of Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. Thanks to the success of this film, Tim Burton came out of anonymity and began to be considered for his unquestionable ability to construct unique stories.
Batman 989 of the famous comic divided by Bob Kemp because his grossing title subject to the rigors of the story developed. The film displayed in the artistic and atmospheric creation with a dark gothic ghosting appearing the same year as Batman was relaxed in married the painter Lena Gresek, born 1965, who he divorced in 1992.
The next one began with one of his best works and one of his most personal works, Edward Scissorhands, 1990, a fantastic tale of great beauty and sensitivity that brings together many of the aesthetic and cultural concepts of his author. It stars Johnny Depp, a regular face in his upcoming movies.
After taking up the adventure of the Bat in Batman Returns 992, devised with Chris Book, that cartoon series Family Dog and producing and writing The Nightmare Before Christmas, title animation directed by Henry Selick.
Teen released another of his author's pinnacles. It was 1994, an effective biopic about the figure of the so-called worst film director of all the time, Edward D. Wood Jr. The movie won 2 Oscar awards, one for Best Makeup and another for Martin Landau as Best Supporting Actor.
Premiere Sleep House 999, a film that brought to the screen a story crafted by Washington Irving about Wilson Henley's houseman who caused terror and smiled 18th century belief.
Planet of the Apes 2001 was disappointing. The vision of the novel by Pierre Boulle lacks originality and visual inventiveness, something unthinkable in the trajectory of its director.
With Big Fish 2003, Tim Burton continued his part of adaptation by taking a text by Daniel Wells to the cinema. Next up was Ronald Dahl and his book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory pre-adapted for film in the 1917 by Mel Stuart.
With Johnny Depp as the main protagonist, he released Sweeney 2007. Later, he collaborated with Disney to direct 2 films in 3D animation. The first was an adaptation of Lewis Carroll's novel Alice in Wonderland. The second extended his short Frankenweenie. Other titles of his filmography are Dark Shadows 2012, a film based on a television series from the 60s, and Big Eyes 2014, a film that biography the marriage of painters formed by Walter and Margaret Keane.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast by Tim Burton. See you later, friends and teachers.